I'm Yousseff Cohen. I'm 68, almost 69. I'll be 69 in July. I have mesothelioma. I think cancer has a silver lining, you know. It's a crazy thing to say, yeah, but it's like you enter a different universe. I was first diagnosed in 2012. I did all the treatment, chemotherapy, surgery, radiation. Then it came back, as it usually does. In mesothelioma will kill you. So I went from fear, panic, hope, depression, anxiety, to a more serene, calmer state, which I think I am in now.
He is ready. After years of fighting, battling, living to survive, Yousseff Cohen is ready.
I don't want to die. I'm not interested in death, although I made my peace with it.
That peace giving the former NYU faculty member who was raised in Brazil a new perspective on life.
I enjoy my life like I've maybe never enjoyed it before.
Hard to believe those words. His last days, he says, have been the best of his life.
It's a hard thing to explain. I find meaning in daily life, in little things. The meaning is more in other people. It's people. It's all about people. Intimacy and closeness with people. That's the true meaning to me.
We met Yousseff the day before he and his wife Lindsay were traveling to Oregon, a right-to-die state. He'd also advocated for end-of-life options with Compassion and Choices, a group pushing for legislation in New York.
Just the thought of having that option just frees you. It's very freeing. It takes a lot of the fear out of it. And because it does that, it gives you the capacity to just enjoy life and enjoy the people around you and doing the things that you love to do. It's not an easy choice, obviously. You are saying, well, okay, I am going to take a drug that is going to kill me.
All right, we're going to sing this one again. The music is a way to help them regain that sense of identity and strength, to highlight their strengths. Please give your loving heart to me. We want to make the end of their lives that much more meaningful. Does that bring you back?
You bring me back some old memories.
Yeah, yeah. When you were young?
Huh?
When you were young?
Yes, but I have it for you.
Leave family members with the sense that the life of their loved one was full to the end. Does the music feed you?
When music needs to feed the soul, Charla Burton often knows what note to play.
Leave it there.
She's a creative arts therapist with Metropolitan Jewish Health Systems.
It's about using the music to help the patient reconnect to their, not their former self, but their inner self.
At-home hospice care, mending spirits, easing physical pain for those at the end of life.
So what do we usually do?
Her clients on this day, 93-year-old Walter Morris, a cancer patient, and his wife of 60 years, Elaine.
Should we do the second verse? Open thou the crystal fountain.
What we're trying.
Okay. Open thou the crystal fountain.
Do you find that when people are facing death, they sort of learn a lot about life, what sort of life means?
Absolutely, absolutely. And me too. You know, as kind of an added benefit that I get, it's like I'm learning all of these life lessons from these people who are faced with death.
What are you learning?
Not to sweat the small stuff, I think, is probably the biggest lesson. That the important things in life are love and family. Let the fiery, cloudy pillar lead me all my journey through.
My name is Unju Lee. I'm a social worker with Visiting Nurse Service New York Hospice at the Haven Specialty Unit.
People are drawn to this profession for any number of reasons, but you came to it from a volunteer standpoint. Why did you volunteer?
I think that I knew somehow that the sages have known from eons ago that you figure out how to live life when you're closer to death. Being closer to someone's grief allows me to tap into my own source of grief and sadness and loss. And it's a reminder how fragile we are.
As a hospice care social worker, Unju Lee helps families through some of the most vulnerable times.
We figure out finally what's important. And it's not all this other stuff, it's these people that have meant so much to our lives. And it's temporary. It's temporary.
It's finding that good in the people who you care about, finding that sort of that love, I guess, that's out there. It's a hard thing that you may not find in your day-to-day life. You may just sort of work around it.
In the end, nobody at deathbed says, I forgot to do that project, I didn't work enough hours, but everybody says, I didn't spend enough time with my family, I didn't say I love you. So it reminds you on a daily basis what's essential.
How does that change people, do you think, sometimes when they know that that's coming or family members know it's coming?
Well, one thing we say a lot in hospice is that people tend to die the way they lived.
Dr. Leonard Backelchuk is a visiting physician who cares for VNSNY hospice and palliative care patients in their homes.
To help people come to terms with their death, to see this as a new phase of their life, to learn what you can at the end of life, because there is something to be learned. There are people to see and love to be shared and emotions to be shared.
That moment when someone leaves this world, I mean, that's a moment, I guess, most people don't, they think about it, they're fearful of it their entire life, but when that moment comes.
I will always say, make sure you're there for the last breath. Hold
because
the hand.
That last breath is powerful.
It is. The few moments leading up to that, and then that last, last breath.
I've always wanted to learn how to illuminate letters. These old Bibles where they illuminate the capital letters with gold. And with the cancer, it kind of freed me. And I just started doing things that I wanted to do and I enjoy doing. And so I've been painting like a madman.
Creating these illuminated letters among the many joys brightening Yousseff Cohen's final days.
And I decided I'd do golden letters for all my friends. And I've done 52 so far.
He brought that artwork with him to Oregon, where he met with doctors who would prescribe him legal end-of-life medications.
Here, if you have that option, you're in charge. You're in charge of your life.
He never used it. 6 days after our interview, the man who would have turned 69 years old in July started to deteriorate.
I've discovered how much I value my relatives and and my wife and my kid and my friends.
His last moments in hospice care spent with family and those he loved by his side.
It's such a joy to be around them.
His beloved Brazilian bossa nova music playing in the room. And then the man who fought, living in every moment, never taking its meaning for granted, took his last breath.
You are much freer with other people. You are much less judgmental. You become much more compassionate about yourself and other people because you realize we're all in the same boat and everybody one day will have to face what I'm facing.